members. Now we start with Sudan. At least 40 people were killed in a drone strike in a funeral outside the El-Obeid area in North Kordofan, Sudan. According to officials, the attack on al-luweib village on Monday is blamed on the paramilitary rapid support forces. Many have died before reaching hospital. El-Obeid is a strategic city connecting Khartoum to Darfur. While fighting has intensified, about 20,000 people fled last week after the RSF captured Bara town and el-fasher, the army's last Darfur stronghold. The UN and ICC report summary executions, mass killings, and looting, warning of possible war crimes. Food security experts also say el-fasher is suffering famine, while Kadugli faces catastrophic hunger. UN Secretary General Guterres has called for an immediate halt to the violence and urged the army and RSF to negotiate, while the Sudanese government considers a US-led truce proposal. At least 40 people were killed in a drone strike in a funeral outside El-Obeid in North Kordofan, Sudan. According to officials, the attack on al-luweib village on Monday is blamed on the paramilitary rapid support forces. Many have died before reaching the hospital. El-Obeid is a strategic city connecting Khartoum to Darfur, where fighting has intensified. Now for this discussion, we welcome Ayanuga Olugbenga Paul. He's a public affairs analyst, joins us live from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you very much for joining us. Welcome to NewsX World.
Thank you, Osman, for having me.
Thank you. Now looking at this news, thank you. Now looking at this news, can you tell us the strategic importance of the city El-Obeid, which is connecting Khartoum and Darfur, and what more can you tell us about what's unfolding inside of Sudan?
Well, if you look at the map of Sudan, you'll discover that El-Obeid is a strategic midpoint between Khartoum and el-fasher that has seen lots of actions in the last few weeks. El-fasher is in North Darfur, while El-Obeid is in North Kordofan. So, but looking at it on the map, you will see that they are really a route that connects to Khartoum, and the RSF force is trying to take inch by inch the towns that are still in the stronghold of the army, and they are leaving carnage along the line. But like I've said severally, all the international agencies that have been talking, all we've seen is all talks and no action. And this is the same way that we had all talks and no action in Rwanda in 1994 until 800,000 people have died. Now, maybe because the 150,000 people that have died in Sudan didn't die in a 100 days period like the case of Rwanda. So it doesn't get to have that same grim feeling that Rwanda has. But any loss of life, anywhere, anytime, for whatever reason, is a terrible thing. And leaving it to metastasize to the level that we are at right now since April 2023, I think it is in the hands of the people themselves, the army and the rebel leaders, to find a direct means of communication, because we cannot continue to have this humanitarian crisis where, the town of Kadugli is totally starved out now, surrounded, and they've not had access to humanitarian support in the last 3 to 4 months, with UN not being able to penetrate the town, and resources are running till people are dying in droves of hunger in the town of Kadugli. So, and this now coming to roost. El-Obeid is currently held by the army, and the RSF is trying to take it over from the army, and that is why this intense fighting is ongoing. But then in this war, Nobody has respect for standard operational procedure, and they are committing war crimes that are on a genocidal level, even though they are denying the fact that the killings are ethnically motivated, with the RSF leadership promising to investigate the allegation of killings, wanton killings, and summary executions of civilians in recent time. But even with that, it still does not show, there is no show of any concrete effort by both RSF and the army to find a middle ground. And at the end of the day, a nation of 12 million people being decimated this much, the bigger effect is that no serious investor will want to come in except for arms suppliers and arms dealers and illegal miners who want to mine the oil. Don't forget that also El-Obeid has a lot of their oil wells in Sudan located around that location. So it is one of the strategic reasons why they are fighting for the soul of El-Obeid, and it's terrible. The people that were killed on Monday during the funeral, it's a very terrible news to bear.
I think building on your answer, it seems like you're suggesting that there is a lack of mediator. Is there nobody who can negotiate between RSF and the Sudanese army and the international organizations effectively?
No, the people who can do this job seems to be invested in their own personal interest, as it seems right now. And if those people, the major international axis of power, don't forget that Sudan is also of strategic interest because a part of it is bordered by the Red Sea. And many of the international vessels who are passing through the Strait of Hormuz, through Red Sea to Europe, will pass through this region. They are already battling on one side with Houthi rebel in Yemen on the one side now. And if you now add the Sudan situation leading to escalation of piracy on the IC, it seems that many of the international negotiators that we have trusted, like the UN Security Council, the UN FPA, the African Union, I think they all have their own different agenda, and with their body language, doesn't seem their agenda aligned with achieving peace in Sudan. That is how it seems to me. I might be wrong, you know. So, and that is why I hope that the leaders of both RSF and the army will gain some sense and try to negotiate directly with each other, you know, and find a means. Because what it seems is that the people who are supposed to negotiate and help bring peace into the region are the ones escalating and fueling the war. They will tell the army side what the army wants to hear. They will tell the RSF what the RSF wants to hear, not what they need to hear, so that the war can be brought to a halt. And that is what I feel is happening, and that is why I don't trust all these international negotiation or negotiator team that are currently on ground there.
Thank you very much, Ayanega, for sharing that. Please stay with us as we stay on this topic now. The United States is very much engaged in their words in